All right, so here we are, page 359. We'll work 2 and 4 kind of together, and then move on 8 through 18 as you feel comfortable. So here we go, number 2. Remember, we're still dealing with elimination, and we hope what happens is we've got some coefficients that we can just go ahead and mark off and start eliminating stuff. So you'll notice in this one, though, that nothing matches, right? 2 and 1, 75, they don't match. So we've got to multiply one of the equations or both of those equations by something that's going to make them match. Now, the easier that I can make this, that's what I'm going to do, right? So knowing that I've got a 1 to deal with in front of that x, like that one's going to be really easy to match it up with the other one. So I'm going to take that equation and I'm going to multiply it times -2. Now I'm going to go -2, and I'll show you why. I'm going to go -2 because I want to be able to add those two equations together. So multiplying that bottom equation by -2 gives me -2x minus 10y equals -4. Now let's take that top equation and just slide it down. 2x plus 7y equals 1. And this is what I was trying to do. Like, I want to get two coefficients to match up so that I can add together and eliminate. You've got to decide that. Like, you've got to be able to look at that system and say, what coefficients can I make the same? And it seems like that 1 in front of the x is going to be really easy to deal with. And so that's the one we deal with. So this is what we were doing yesterday. Let's add these two equations together. So the 2x minus 2x, that eliminates. 7 plus a -10 is -3y's. 1 plus a -4 is -3. So now we know that y equals 1. And that's part of our solution. That y equals 1 goes all the way back here to the top, anywhere we want to do it at, either one of those equations. We'll just use the first one. Let's use the second one. So x plus 5y, which y equals 1. X plus 5y equals 2. That's the second equation. And then when I solve this, x equals -3. And so that's my ordered pair. Since they gave me an x and a y, we'll do it in the ordered pair style. Okay, -3 and 1. All right, number 4, we'll move on here. All right, so this is going to be one that, and I can already tell looking at it, first of all, it's got a's and b's in it, which means that our final answer won't be a coordinate pair, but we'll still have a equals and b equals. Okay, so here we go. Is there anything that's going to multiply by 7 to get me to a 9? No. Anything to multiply by 3 to get me to a 2? Now we could do times 1.5, but like if we don't want to, I don't want to deal with fractions. You don't want to deal with fractions, right? So this is one of those cases where I've got to look at this equation and say, which ones do I want to get the same? Which ones do I want to get the same? So if I multiply the top by 3, and if I multiply the bottom equation by 2, that's going to get the b's, right, the same, right? So sometimes you've got to say, I'm going to do two things. So we're going to do this one times a 3. I get it. All right, you're good. And we're going to do this one times a 2. And so when we do that, let's see, 27a minus 6b equals -24, and -14a plus 6b equals +24. And there we go. That was the thing that we were hoping would happen, is that we would get a plus and minus. And again, you don't have to get plus and minus. I prefer plus and minus because I feel like, for me, like that's just, like, I've been doing these things for 35 years now. So this is how I would like to do them, by adding. If you would rather subtract, then make them both the same sign. Like, that works. All right, so let's add these two equations together now. And we'll get 13a equals 0. That's nice. Okay, so A equals 0. Then that A plugs back in. And look, don't get uncomfortable with A equals 0. 0 is a value. It can be 0. Like, that's fine if A is 0. Okay? So taking it back up to either one of the top two equations, we would have 9 times 0 minus 2b equals negative 8. So I use the first equation.
And that'd be a negative 2.
And so b would equal 4. All right. Now, I think A equals 0 and B equals 4. So I would plug it back into my second equation to make sure that negative 7 times 0, 0, 3 times 4, 12, 0 plus 12 does equal 12. So it works in both of those equations. All right, so just as a reminder, 359, we worked 2 and 4 already. Even 8 through 18 is what I would like to see us get done in class today. 22 through 22 and 24, like if we can get there, like those might be problems that would show up as something difficult that I would ask you to do for something more than just regular type credit. So here are the answers to 8 through 18. Number 8. And again, don't feel like you have to look at them until you're ready. But if you've already got several of these done, you might want to check. And then if we need to go back and talk about them, let's go back and talk about them. The more you do, the more comfortable you are doing. The more you do, the more you kind of work on some of your speed. And I can go ahead and tell you that some of us will find it difficult to finish the next test because you're going to get you're not quite as quick on some of these steps as you need to be. And all I can say is practice, practice, practice. And then we want to make sure you're getting correct answers when you practice. But practice, practice, practice. Okay. All right, so this is problem number 8. My suggestion would be, since these two variables have opposite signs, like I would really try to get rid of the y. So, Dodie, like it would be better if you try to get rid of the y. I'm going to go back and do it your way, but the easy thing to do, since those are opposite signs, the easy thing would be to multiply this times 5. And A, you're keeping your number smaller. But B, those are already opposite signs. So let's do it. Let's do it that way real quick. Then I'm going to go back and do it the 7 way. So here we go. This whole thing times 5 would give me 5x minus 5y negative 40. Add those two together. We'll do it carefully. 12x equals negative 24. X would equal negative 2. That's going to go back and plug in somewhere, right? So if we just pick that first one, negative 2 minus y equals negative 8. So minus y would equal negative 6. And y equals positive 6. All right. Since they gave us an x and a y, we're going to make sure to give our answer as a coordinate pair. And there we go.
Wait, is that going to be on the test?
So our next question is on number 12. So we'll slide down here. Let's grab number 12. 3x minus 3y equals negative 6 minus 5x plus 6y equals 12. All right, so let's multiply the top equation by 2, which would give us 6x minus 6y equals negative 12. Add those two equations together, and x equals 0. That got there. That was really quick. Take it back up to the top. And any one of those equations is going to work. So 3 times 0 minus 3y equals negative 6. So 3 times 0 is just 0. Divide both sides by negative 3. Y should equal 2. We're in x's and y's. So let's go ahead and put these as a coordinate. So our next question was on number 16. So here we go. 4x plus 7y equals negative 80. And 3x plus 5y equals negative 58. Now this is going to give us some pretty big numbers either way you go. So you kind of get to pick whatever your numbers you want to, but if we can keep smaller numbers, let's do that. If we multiply the top one by 3 and the bottom equation by negative 4, that's going to make our x's match up. So here we go. 12x plus 21y equals negative 240. And then we've got negative 12x minus 20y equals 32. Positive 232. All right, so that's nice. Plus 12 minus 12, those go away, which leaves us with 1y, which equals, am I looking at this right, negative 8? All right, so now that we know that y equals negative 8, like neither one of these equations seems like it's going to be any easier than the other one. So let's just pick one. 3x plus 5 times negative 8 equals negative 58. So this is just us doing a little simplifying. 3x equals still going to be negative 18. So x equals negative 6. And then that would be, again, they gave us x's and y's. So we're going to go ahead and put this in coordinate form. All right, so 18 says negative 4x plus 2y equals 0. And 10x plus 3y equals 8. So the 2 and the 3 seem like they'll be the easiest to deal with. Okay, so let's multiply this one times 3. And then let's multiply this one times negative 2. That would have been nice. Negative 20x minus 6y equals negative 16. Okay. These match up, so we'll add them together. So negative 32x equals negative 16. Divide both sides by negative 32. And I don't normally write these down, but I want you to see what's happening here. So 16 over 32 reduces to a positive 1/2. And so there you go. All right. So that x equals 1/2 is going to come back up here to the top. Either one of those equations and plug back in. I'm going to change colors here just so you can see it. So 10 times 1/2 plus 3y equals 8. So I use the second equation again. So that's going to be 5 plus 3y equals 8. 3y equals 3 and y equals 1. That's all that algebra that we've been doing for a long time now. Again, x and y, so we want to make sure we put this in a coordinate form. So 1/2, 1, that would be our coordinate pair. All right, so next question was on number 10. So here we go. We've got 6x plus y equals negative 39. We've got 3x plus 2y equals negative 15. And so Andrew decided he would multiply by a positive 2. So let's see what that gives us. 6x plus 4y equals a negative 30. And then we'll drop our top equation down. Like, we're not going to do anything to the 6x plus y equals negative 39. We're just going to get it down here closer so we can deal with it. So same sign subtracts, right? So we've got to subtract these two equations. 6 minus 6, 6 minus 6 goes away. 1 minus 4, there's your negative 3y. And then minus a minus is plus, so that's minus 9. So we'll finish this one out. So y equals a positive 3, and then we're going to take that back up to the top and plug it in anywhere, right? So 3x plus 2 times y, which is 3. So 3x, that's going to be minus 6. So that's going to be plus 6, so subtract it from the other side. It's going to be negative 21, and so x equals, there's your negative 7. Again, x and a y, so we're going to make sure we show this as a coordinate pair.